Hey everybody, welcome back to Cruise Blog. This is Allie, and today we're going to be talking about Royal Caribbean's newest party ship. Is this the future of Royal Caribbean? Let's dig into it. If you're looking for a fun-filled weekend but you don't want to use up a lot of your PTO days, Wonder of the Seas is a new fix for that. Wonder of the Seas is the newest Royal Caribbean party ship sailing from Miami, Florida, and I was lucky enough to be on board for the ship's first 4-night sailing. Joining her sister Utopia of the Seas, Wonder of the Seas is part of Royal Caribbean's push to have more of its big ships sailing on shorter Caribbean itineraries. These getaway cruises have proven to be massively popular for the cruise line, as cruisers can vacation without taking as many vacation days. To meet the rising demand for shorter cruises, Royal Caribbean is shifting its strategy by offering its biggest, most impressive cruise ships on shorter itineraries. I'm a big fan of shorter cruises as I have a hard time taking too much PTO from work. After recently cruising on Utopia of the Seas this winter, I was excited to see Wonder of the Seas begin her season of short Caribbean itineraries. Here's what it was like sailing on a short cruise on Royal Caribbean's newest party ship. First, Wonder of the Seas has plenty of parties and late-night activities. Royal Caribbean has been branding Wonder of the Seas as Miami's new weekend wonder. The ship is now decked out for wilder weekends with 10 next-level parties. The Oasis-class vessel features more than 15 dining spots with international flavors, 4 pools, and 10 onboard bars. As promised, our cruise was packed with parties and late-night activities. In fact, I ran out of time to try all of the hosted parties during our short 4-night cruise to the Bahamas. Starting with the lively sail-away party, it was easy to see that our cruise would have a very lively crowd. Later that evening, the ship hosted Bring the Beat Back, a party through the decades, which is a themed party in the Royal Promenade with music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. This party was extremely popular and well-attended, and many cruisers dressed up for the occasion. During our sea day the next morning, I was eager to attend the plunge day pool party on the pool deck. The vibes were high as many cruisers were dancing and singing from Wonder's 2 main pool decks. This was one of my favorite parties of the entire cruise, as I much prefer a midday party versus a late night gathering. Other popular parties included the Let's Dance Street Party, Royal Capakai, and Silent Toga Party. In addition, you could attend karaoke, midnight parties in the nightclub, and the famous Crazy Quest game show. If you're someone who likes to party and dance the night away, there is no shortage of parties to attend. Our cruise, however, was very popular for groups traveling together. Our 4-night cruise on Wonder of the Seas was packed with large travel parties. This isn't surprising, as shorter cruises are ideal for everything from family reunions to bachelor and bachelorette parties, milestone birthdays, and other celebrations at sea. These quick getaway cruises are popular for large groups because they're affordable, convenient, and easy to coordinate. With most short cruises lasting anywhere from 3 to 5 nights, they're far less expensive than week-long itineraries. In addition, longer cruises require more PTO and planning, which can be difficult to align across busy work, school, and family schedules. In fact, I'd argue that Oasis-class ships are some of the best in the industry for group travel. Most of my extended family cruises have been on board Oasis-class vessels, and they're always crowd pleasers for kids, adults, and everyone in between. At 236,000 gross tons, Wonder of the Seas truly has something for everyone. Families with children can enjoy nonstop action, from the onboard thrills to Adventure Ocean youth programming and the Social 100 Teen Club. Adults hoping to get away from the younger cruisers can enjoy the expansive adults-only solarium, along with an array of bars and lounges. Between the variety of dining, onboard attractions, entertainment, and multiple neighborhoods, Wonder of the Seas was a popular choice for groups traveling together. So don't be surprised to find large travel parties if you're cruising on Wonder of the Seas anytime soon, as the party atmosphere will likely continue to attract celebratory groups. In addition, our cruise was energetic, but I never felt like it was out of control. I've taken my fair share of party cruises, including a few particularly spirited cruises with Carnival Cruise Line. I wasn't sure what to expect for our cruise on Wonder of the Seas, although I've been on other Royal Caribbean weekend cruises, and the craziest experiences have been during spring break. Even still, I was prepared for a party atmosphere on board, especially considering Royal Caribbean's wildest weekend branding for this cruise. I love having a good time, but chaotic, out-of-control crowds really aren't my scene. Throughout our cruise, there was definitely an energetic ambiance, but I never felt like things were rowdy, hectic, or disorderly. The only time we experienced a noisy crowd was during our Nassau sail-away in the solarium. Even then, the group of adults chanting and taking shots really wasn't over the top or disruptive. In addition, the ship was busy at times with some long lines, which is expected on Oasis class vessels. One of the biggest downfalls of cruising on a mainstream mega cruise ship is dealing with all the crowds. This can inadvertently lead to long lines across the ship for the popular amenities and restaurants. Although the ship was definitely busy at times, Royal Caribbean designed Wonder of the Seas in a way that helps ease crowds and prevent bottlenecks. Like all Oasis-class vessels, Wonder of the Seas utilizes its distinct neighborhood concept to disperse crowds and reduce congestion. However, when you're cruising with thousands of other passengers, there are bound to be crowds. In particular, Embarkation Day was especially busy in the Windjammer Buffet and the Royal Promenade. Actually, the Windjammer Buffet was always busy and crowded when we visited, and in my opinion, the buffet space is too small to accommodate such a large crowd on board. Another busy venue was Sorrento's Pizzeria and the Royal Promenade. While the line moved quickly, there was always a small mob of people waiting for a fresh slice of pizza. Because this was one of the few late-night food options, the party crowds seemed to gravitate here in the evenings. The most popular attractions also had long lines. For instance, I considered riding the zip line across the top deck, but the line was always too long for me. Those cruising on Wonder of the Seas should consider trying all of the onboard thrills on embarkation day or while the ship is docked in port to avoid the longer lines. During our cruise, though, we loved Royal Caribbean's signature entertainment every night. Royal Caribbean's Oasis-class ships have some of the best entertainment in the entire cruise industry. While other cruise lines are making obvious cost cuts to their entertainment, Royal Caribbean continues to invest heavily in its signature wow factor entertainment. The first evening, we attended the ice show on Wonder of the Seas known as 365 The Seasons on Ice. I am a huge fan of Royal Caribbean's ice skating performances as they're the only cruise line with this style of entertainment. We were amazed at the ice stunts throughout the awe-inspiring performance. Wonder of the Seas also features an aqua theater in the aft of the ship. On board Wonder of the Seas, the aqua theater show is called Intense and features an all-women cast of highly skilled athletes. The impressive production was fantastic, so much so that we attended the show again. In the Royal Theatre, you'll also find other production shows, including the technologically heavy Effectors 2 Crash and Burn. This musical headliner show is certainly geared towards kids and families with its superhero-themed storyline and music. While it won't win any awards, the full-scale production was fun to watch with cutting-edge technology. We had so much fun during our cruise that it felt like 4 nights wasn't enough to do everything we wanted. Wonder of the Seas is a massive cruise ship clocking in as the 4th largest cruise ship in the world. The only cruise ships larger include Royal Caribbean's Icon-class ships and sister ship Utopia of the Seas. Being a ship of this magnitude, it's impossible to experience every restaurant, amenity, and activity on board. In a short 4-night cruise, you have to accept that you can't do it all. We did our best to make the most of our time on board, though. For instance, we splurged on a dinner at Chops Grill the first evening so that my friend could experience one of the specialty restaurants on her very first cruise. The other evenings, we had fantastic dinners in the main dining room, which is also included in your cruise fare. Because we enjoyed the main dining room experience so much, we opted to visit Izumi Sushi for lunch instead of dinner. I highly recommend checking the schedule for a specialty dining lunch, as this can often save you money compared to the standard dinner price. We didn't get a chance to try all the complimentary restaurants, though, including the Boardwalk Doghouse and Solarium Bistro, and we barely scratched the surface of all of the specialty dining options available. In particular, we wish that we could have tried venues besides the Windjammer Buffet for breakfast. With late nights watching the entertainment and attending the parties, we often missed the 9 a.m. cutoff for the other breakfast spots, including Johnny Rockets and the main dining room. This would also alleviate some of the congestion in the Windjammer, which is the only breakfast option open after about 10 or 10:30. Brunch was also not offered in the dining room either, which would be a seemingly good fit for a party-branded cruise ship. I hope Royal Caribbean reconsiders the operating hours for breakfast given the late-night vibe of the ship. However, I've already booked another 4-night party cruise with Royal Caribbean, but this time I'll be going back on Utopia of the Seas. For many years, Carnival Cruise Line dominated the short cruise market, but Royal Caribbean is now shifting the landscape. With some of the world's newest and biggest ships sailing on 3-night and 4-night itineraries, short cruises no longer mean sacrificing the ship size. It's hard for me to take time away from work to sail on a 7-night cruise, so I prefer embarking on quick getaway cruises to save time and money. It's just enough time to get into a vacation mindset, even if I don't get around to experiencing every single restaurant, show, or activity. I've already booked another weekend getaway cruise for February 2026, but this time I'll be sailing on Utopia of the Seas from Port Canaveral, Florida. This is only because cruising from Central Florida is more convenient from my home in the Panhandle. I wouldn't hesitate to book another short cruise on Wonder of the Seas, though, as we had a fantastic time on board without too much chaos. There were plenty of parties to keep the most energetic cruisers entertained, but the energy was never out of control. Overall, Wonder of the Seas showed that a short cruise can still feel like a real vacation with a perfect mix of fun, relaxation, and big ship experiences without feeling overwhelmed. All right, everybody, that is all we have for today. Comment below if you like Royal Caribbean's shift towards more party cruises, or if you're someone who prefers the longer, more port-intensive itineraries. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure and like and subscribe to Cruise Vlogs so that you can be notified every time we have a new video. Until next time, this has been Allie, and happy cruising.